Can I finish, Simone? Will you just shut up for a minute and let me finish?
Pardon me, sir. You don't get to tell me to shut up on national television.
And we don't tell people to shut up on this show.
Welcome to Cable News Craziness, where we take a look at some of the craziness that takes place on cable news. Today, we've got quite the doozy. MSNBC's Andrea Mitchell is joined by disgraced former CIA Director John Brennan, and they're going to talk about making the Middle East whole again. Roll it.
Mike Pompeo is in Israel today, doubling down on the anti-Iran, posture, the pro-Israel, anti-Palestinian posture. And also, the Treasury is announcing new sanctions today. It's going to make it a lot harder for Joe Biden to try to resume the Iran nuclear deal. It also makes it a lot harder for him to do anything in the Middle East with Israel.
Well, yes, and recent reports that Donald Trump was actively considering a major military strike against Iranian targets really is quite disturbing, because what we don't want to do is to trigger some type of conflict right now during this transition period when Joe Biden has to pick up the pieces on January 20th. So Mike Pompeo has demonstrated time and again that he's willing to do Donald Trump's bidding, irrespective of what the implications are for U.S. national security interests. And so I'm hoping that there's going to be no activity that really is going to make it more difficult for us to try to repair the damage that has been done over the last 4 years in terms of Donald Trump's actions on Middle East policies. It really needs to be addressed very carefully. And that's why I think it is outrageous that Joe Biden and his team have not been allowed to have insight into what is currently underway in the Middle East and around the world. This transition period is so critically important to ensure that U.S. national security interests are going to be protected.
Exactly what damage is John Brennan talking about when he talks about the damage Trump has done to the Middle East, and how exactly does he think we're going to undo said damage? Are we going to go to the Iranians and apologize to them for killing one of their generals who was a well-known terrorist who was in another country plotting terrorist attacks? Are we going to tear down the embassy in Jerusalem? Are we going to break all the deals that Israel made with its Arab neighbors? What exactly are we going to do here? Are we going to take the 2,500 troops that are coming out of Iraq and Afghanistan and put them back in? What damage is he actually talking about? Because we're not very specific here. We're just doing this thing where we say that everything Donald Trump does is bad, so we have to undo it. And there's really no specifics here on what they're going to do. We're going to rebuild alliances? Is that what we're going to do? This kind of goes back to the whole NATO situation, where Trump has upset our foreign alliances, and they've spent more money on their national defense because of it, as they're supposed to with NATO. All these things that they're saying are terrible are good. And yeah, they might undo them. But specifically talking about the Middle East and using John Brennan as the guy to go in there and talk about this seems like a really, really odd choice and a really, really bad programming decision. But it is cable news craziness, and we love to talk about that. So come on back tomorrow for a new clip. Like, subscribe, follow, leave a comment as well, and we'll talk to you soon. Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for my friends at University Kia. And listen, I've been driving Kias for years, over a decade, actually way longer than that, and I absolutely love it. My wife made me get a Telluride for. It's an amazing vehicle, my favorite Kia that they have ever made. Grant, my son, loves it as well. It's big, it's roomy, and it's amazing. The best part about University Kias, though, is they'll help you find the car that works for you and your family. So head on down to University Kia today. Check them out online at universitykia.com. And when you talk to my friends over there at University Kia, make sure you tell them Dale Jackson sent you.